It's so relaxing to watch the sky. Very soothing, right? And especially when it's a galaxy with lots of stars. Oh my god, next level happiness. So today, we are going to be transported to the world of galaxy through Ishwari, who is going to teach us how to draw a galaxy sky using watercolors. I have known Ishwari from a very long time, of about nearly 5 to 6 years, and the way she has outgrown herself is amazing, commendable truly. I'm sure you would love the session and all the tips that she's going to share.
So I see a lot of enthusiastic souls here, around 25 plus. So I am very happy that you have opted for this challenge because we see this 21 challenge, 21 days challenge in many other formats as well, be it health, be it exercise, or be it mental peace. But through art, it's little different because we try to learn something which our inner child is craving, and I'm very happy that this ritual has been restarted again after a long gap in between. And we have been kind of teammates, like me and Rina. We used to do a lot of live sessions back then during COVID, learn from each other. So it's not just like the pool of artists that you see under this challenge are of different expertise, and I would say it's the COVID times that has connected all of us back then, and the growth of each of us has been in different paths what we seek. So here we are today. We are mixing both of my favorite art forms, I would say, which is like mandalas and the watercolors. So we will try to understand different papers and how to deal with it, because it's a bit stressful medium. And when you see the pro artists, like I also feel myself as a very beginner, because there are endless limits and possibilities to explore with watercolors. And when you see such videos, and you might get intimidated at some point of time. So I'll just try to break it down, because there are different types of papers available, different types of brushes and colors available, and the output depends on that, the watercolor part. And even mandalas, over practice, we can, improve the form, the petal shapes. There were times where I learned from Veena itself few forms, like few droplet patterns and all. Even now, I don't have much knowledge about Islamic geometry. So if I want to incorporate something fusion in my work, I had to refer back to her reels or her work. So it's just learning from each other, and it is going to be fun session. So, and it's Galaxy, so we don't have limitations like what is a color. You need not have to take stress about anything. So I'll just cover a couple of techniques, and then we'll add. So since, because it's watercolor and mandala, we'll first do the watercolor part, because we have to set it aside a little time for it to dry, and then only we can add mandala on top of it. So I'll now switch to the other side, and I'll start discussing about the papers. Let's just fix the camera. Okay, just a second. There is a rod visible right here. Yeah, sorry for that. I had to switch something. Is it visible now? Can some, yeah, okay. I can see the thumbs up. Okay. Okay. I just want to know, are the participants are allowed to comment something, because I just want them to pick colors by themselves. So, uh, yeah, it's on the landscape mode only. My mobile is on the landscape, uh, this only.
It's just
I
that,
think now it has adjusted by itself.
yeah, I think it has gone, still gone to the back to the like if vertical mode.
Sorry, couldn't hear you, Vina, somehow.
Yeah, so it has just gone back to the vertical mode, like how it was in the start.
Oh, okay.
Would it be okay to switch?
Now is it on the horizontal
I
mode?
think what you'll have to do is just with your phone, just tweak it around. Like,
How is it now?
no, it's still the same. I think with your phone, like you know how you usually have that white line at the bottom. I think it's still in the vertical angle. You have to rotate it so that it can move horizontally.
Is it horizontal now?
No, but if you're having difficulties, it's okay. We can just go ahead like this. It's totally fine.
Okay.
Just try once more. If not, it's okay. No pressure. Because like how you did it in the start, like I think it's the phone that has to move. Like y'all, I think what you can even see us vertically, right? Like all people, like your video and this people stacked at the bottom. So it has to change, like like the orientation basically of your
Oh,
screen.
yeah, okay. It has changed in between, but then
Yeah, it's just that because when we record it later, when you view, it's easier to view the bigger mode, but it's totally okay if you're not able to, like, no pressure on that. Like,
I think it's perfect now.
yeah, yeah, good. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay.
No, not at all. It's just a I just wanted to try and see if it's possible. Like if not, it's okay. Because even yesterday for Chitra we tried, but it didn't work out and it was okay. Like after a while it was like, let's focus on the art. So yeah, that's fine, Shraddha and Ragini. No pressure at all. I just wanted to give it a try.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Can
Done.
start. Perfect.
Yeah. So as I said, in materials, yeah, you can see a lot of things, but yeah, I'm just keeping here a little bit different materials and types of paper so that I can explain you better, and you know, you also get that understanding rather than getting intimidated when you see others. As we said, the materials are some brushes, watercolor paper, some colors, and 2 glasses of water. I'll say in a while why we need 2 glasses. If you don't have 2 glasses, also it's fine, don't worry. And a pencil eraser and a small scale. I haven't taken the protractor as such because it's a bookmark, very small size, so you can grab anything and do. Or else we can switch for a doodle as well, because anything you can build a mandala, you can build a doodle, it's up to you. And a palette, of course, fine liners. So what I have done here is these are different brands. This is one of the watercolor mandala which I did. That I just kept it so that it's a good start. So different types of materials we have here in watercolors. If you see, I'll start with this one. Here you can see it's 25% cotton paper, and so there are different types of papers, 25%, 100%. Okay, so this variant is from Fabriano, which is 25% paper. So this also can be worked with watercolors, but you will not get as clean watercolor output as you are expecting when you compare with someone else, right? So, and also we have this 300 GSM paper from Menora, which is 100% cotton, but then it is not a cold pressed paper. This does not have any texture. You can see when I mean to say texture. it's mostly more or like flat. But then when you see some papers, it will have this kind of texture where you see, you can see the sound, hear the sound, right? The texture for this and the texture for this. So when I do something here, you can see that rough texture here. So this is kind of cold press paper. So it has a more retention for the water. It absorbs the water more better and also holds the water for more longer time. That's and also the grains of the paper also gives more better output. And it also will be on the paints. If the paint is granulating and all, you'll again there is a lot of theories and properties related to that. We're not going into that, but just I'm telling for your understanding. Here you can see it's a very soft one. So this is a hot pressed paper and this is a cold pressed paper. This is also from Fabriano, which has been handmade, made into a bookmark sketchbook. And you also get this bookmarks 300 GSM ones from Canson as well. You can use them directly if you have them. Like this is the bookmark style itself. So for now, we can use any of these things. So I will be using this one particularly, the next page of this, and I don't want to tape it down and border it. If you want, you can tape it down, uh, or maybe we can quickly tape it down so that I can tell you the little technique while taping down as well. Since ours is initially with watercolors, so that's why I am mostly talking about the watercolor part before going into the mandalas, because you have been learning mandalas a little bit throughout this session, right? So I try to tape at the edges. And once you tape, so there is an issue that happens when you don't tape it properly also. So here I'll show you. There will be a slight gap where water seeps in. So for that purpose, when you tape down, it's always advisable to make sure that it is properly stick in the edges to get such nice clean borders. Of course, we have white gouache as our rescue or white gel pen for our rescue if it doesn't come in such a way. Okay, what tape to use? You can use any masking tape. So the name of the tape is called masking tape. This is a 3M MT brand masking tape. I have got this from Brustro. So you can try this one. This gives a very thinner border. I also have a thicker tape. I think I'll if I find it out somewhere near the desk, I'll show it to you. Otherwise, you'll have a very thicker tape, and you can just search it out as masking tape. It will be of white color, and you can use that particular one. If you don't tape, also it's okay. Don't worry that you don't have tape for today with you access. But yeah, make sure you're pressing in the edges, especially the inner corners, and also run a scale over it so that it sticks properly, because it's galaxies and we deal with a lot of water. That's why this step makes it more cleaner edges. You can do the pressure with your hand as well, but scale gives a better uh, neat edges. So I have taped it down and kept aside now. So now we'll talk about the brushes. You can have, there are different types of brushes: round brushes, flat brushes, filbert brushes. There are a different types of brushes. So this is kind of filbert brush where there is a curve. It's a flat, but there is a curve in the edges. This is called filbert brush. And there is another type of brush which is like this one. This is called as a flat brush. So as per the brush, you will get the strokes. But for today, we will be using round brushes. So these are basic round brushes. Or some brands have a mop brush also, which will be like it will be more hairy. So that also can work because we are just working with galaxies. And if you want to do details, then we have to go for a smaller brushes. So I have brushes from Silver Brush, which I mostly use. So I'll be using these brushes. This larger brush is not required. We can deal with these as well. And the colors, I have colors from an Indian watercolor brand, which is Thovi Arts. So I would like if someone comments a couple of colors, I'll pick up those colors for today. So I since who all are participating can give me some color suggestions, couple of like 4 to 5 colors with which we'll build our imaginary galaxy. So I'm waiting for your reply. Anyone? Purple. Okay. Purple, dark blue. Okay. Blue, pink. I had bright blue and then turquoise. Okay. Shades of blue and pink. Yellow, yellow, red. Okay. I'll pick up everyone's favorite color because today we are just celebrating everything. I had a violet color. I'm doing a testing of these colors actually, and I have kept it in some order. Just few days back, I have tested violet. I'm just searching for it. Anyway, we have a bright blue. We have taken bright blue, bright rose, and someone is telling yellow and turquoise. I have turquoise. Let me just quickly. Please share the brand of brushes. Yes, the brand of brushes I'm using is Silver Brush, Silver Velvet, Silver Black Velvet, but this is a little expensive side. You have other brands, another Indian brand called Aquatone. You can, it is also a similar range of brushes. You can get brushes from Brustro as well. So don't, these are actually squirrel hair brushes, which are mostly used for watercolors. So I would not suggest you to right away go and invest on these things. You can start with the beginner things. This I have invested after when I started taking art very seriously, and I teach on a platform called Skillshare where I teach lessons as such. Like Udemy or something, you can compare it. So it's a class. So for that purpose, I have taken those uh, little expensive side brushes. This is one of the beautiful colors. So we'll add this color, yellow, green, bright rose, and bright blue I have taken. I've got a suggestion for red and I can't skip it because it's my favorite color. So Scarlet Lake is a name of one of the red shades. So I'll take that. And we have to take one more yellow so that we get very bright output. I'm taking cadmium yellow. I know you might be confused why. I have a turquoise green, so I'll take the turquoise green. And then I'll take one. I'll take one dark color, which is either Payne's gray or I think we'll try with this shadow green. So I'm just picking colors just in front of you. I haven't prepared what colors to pick because I just want to celebrate these galaxies, imaginary ones, with you all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 colors, more than enough for a bookmark. So now we all need a palette when we need watercolors. So and also a cloth by your side. You can use tissue papers as well, but I prefer cloth little bit because I use a lot and I started with tissue papers, but then when I started using it more, I felt like I'm wasting a lot of tissues. So I'm removing all of the supplies which are shown just for example so that it doesn't look cluttered. So these are the colors that we have taken. I have brushes on my side. So I'll just quickly take down a little bit of color. So you can also do this along with me. Whatever colors you have at your end, you can just quickly take little bit of each of those. We don't need much because it's a bookmark, right? So I'm just taking little of each of these. Any color, even be it camel colors. It's just sometimes it little bit depends on the color and the paper, but also on the technique. So if you don't know how to apply, what to apply, and then how much ever expensive color or brushes you take, it's not useful, right? So now we'll see how to start with watercolors. There are a couple of techniques, but we will do with a wet on wet technique today. And I'll parallelly show other techniques when the paper is drying on a rough paper. But we'll start with the wet on wet technique because it's fun to explore wet on wet technique with galaxies. These two colors will come very brilliantly in galaxies. They'll pop up. Any colors you have, just don't think too much. We are just playing with these things so that you'll just get the fear of the scariness of the watercolors is gone from us. So, all right, I have taken the colors. I have a cloth beside me. Now I'll just try to move the other things little bit. So now the part where I tell about why the two glasses of water and why one is big, one is small. So one jar completely I'll use to wash off the excess color on my brush. And since I said it's a wet on wet technique, first we have to apply a clean layer of water on top of this so that color spread by itself beautifully. So for that purpose, we need clean water. And also when we're taking a new color, we need a clean water. So that's why I prefer to keep one of the uh, jars or glasses, whatever you have taken, clean and wash off your brush in the other jar only. If you don't have it, it's okay, fine. We are exploring and learning and experimenting. You just wash it off and use it. So for this I'm using size 6 brush. So there will be different sizes of brush. So this is like size 12, so that's why it's so big. We don't need such big brushes for smaller surface. So either size 4 or size 6 will work. But then, as I told, there will be a different type of brushes, which is like mop brush. So for these, even size 2 will be of uh, this size. So this is mop brush of size 6 or I suppose. So it varies, but so accordingly, by seeing the images or by asking suggestions from fellow artists, you can pick up your brushes if you are planning to invest. And you can feel free to message me if you have any doubt also regarding this. Now, the interesting part. So, since I have to apply water all over, I'll use a bigger brush just to apply water. But when putting colors, I'll put it with either size 6 or size 4 round brush. So, that is something which is a little bit, you can use a little larger brushes. You can use a mop brush as well. So, you can see, I'll just lift it up so that you all can see it clearly. I'm taking just the clean water. I hope you can see both of my glasses and the palette. Yes, I can see. Okay. And I also have my cloth here. I have just wet my brush. You can see the water, right? There is a water on my brush, fully loaded. Now I'll just apply it onto the surface. As I apply, you can see the paper is shining in your camera, right? In the video, you can see the paper is shining because the water is there. The light is reflecting from that. I have light source on top of this, right? So how you will know how much water to apply? So now I have applied little bit. You can see this corner, it's dripping almost, right? It is dripping wet almost. But then we need that much of water for the colors to spread. So what we will do, if we hold it like this, it will come out of this bookmark. So I'll just make it straight and I will try to work on this again and again. Just run your brush on this. The water will get absorbed by the paper. That is the specialty of watercolor paper compared to other papers. That is why it has been mentioned at least 200 GSM so that the water will be holded in the layers of the paper. 300 GSM is best. Either it is, even if it is 25% cotton or 100% cotton. Again, there are different types of papers, cellulose papers, cotton papers. So cotton papers are the ones which holds the best. So this is a cotton paper and you can see how it is holding. I'll quickly show how it holds on a cellulose paper so that you can understand. This is a cellulose based paper. The cotton papers are a little bit expensive, so people will try to choose cellulose paper. But I would say if you really want to take watercolors part seriously, try with a watercolor paper, even if it is a smaller investment once. You use it preciously, but try to explore it. So I see it. It's not, it won't absorb that long. I'm just applying water on this. Then we will see, we'll apply color on both of these and see how it behaves. Okay. I have just applied water on this and I'll keep it aside. Here we can apply one more layer. So now it has absorbed. Most of it has been absorbed. It's not dried, okay? It's just absorbed. Drying takes a little more time. And sometimes we have to use hair dryer also to speed up the process. I mean, within the time. Others, I won't suggest you to use, but I use because I have a time crunch. Sometimes I'll be running for classes and all for my work. So I use hair dryer. Now, not with so much loaded brush, but a bit of kind loaded brush, and you just damp on this. Just take a cloth or tissue paper and just in the edge, you just sorry. If you just do like this, a little bit of water will be coming onto this outside. That means the water inside this brush has become less. So with that kind of brush, I am applying another layer of wash. You don't need to always do on this. When you get habituated, you can just do the edges and you'll get hang of it as you practice. Now you can see the water is absorbed by the paper and the paper is lifting off. The paper is bulging. See, the paper is bulging here. The paper is lifting off from here. I tried to tape it down, but then it's coming upwards. So if it is a good watercolor paper, this is what happens. And some artists wet the paper, stretch it out, and then paint it on it again by wetting. So that much of water paper needs to hold. So that is the specialty of watercolor papers. The right paper is important along with the technique rather than the materials that I have said a little before also and repeating it again. Let me quickly take this out if I can. So I hope until here, if anyone is following along, I think they have applied the water and re-wetted it again. Like I did second layer of application. And see the other one, this also has absorbed water and you can see how it is going. But here this paper has some issue which we call sizing. So there is a binding that has been layered upon material called sizing layered upon these watercolor papers. So that goes off after some point of time, then such kind of things happen. See, here what color will not be absorbed properly as on this surface. So these are some key differences how papers and colors behave. So now it's more wet enough, it's damp. I'll just quickly run my brush again very lightly, and now I'll take the other that's okay. That's okay. Don't stress out much. If you don't know the GSM of the paper, just put one layer of water. If the paper is trying to bulge like this, just leave it there. And let me take size 4 itself so that we can play around. So this technique is called wet on wet. There is a lot more about watercolors, and I'm worried I'll speak too much, so I'm trying to control. So the darker colors try to put from the edges. Now you see the magic happens of wet on wet. You see the color is spreading by itself when I'm just dropping in here and there. If more water is on paper, more it will spread. I didn't take any water. I just wet my brush. I took the paint and I'm just doing this. No, the bulge will be fixed by itself once it dries. Once it's completely dry, the bulge will go most of the times. For if it is more, if since it's a small surface, see this didn't bulge. It has become flattened after that when you close the book. Some artists do keep books on top of it and make it flat. Some artists do it beforehand and then again paint on it. So it differs from what is your target. So I'm just using this simple technique. Our surface is already wet, you can see. And one more interesting thing with watercolors, now I have put paint, right? So especially for galaxies, you can follow that. So I have put a little bit water on this edge and see how it's spreading. I'm just putting little bit water on this edge. There is a name for this called cauliflower effect, which is not good in all or like in all paintings, but for galaxies, this is like the best. That's why I said we are just playing around. And I take some yellows and drop it. So you can just do this motion. If you think water is little less and things are not spreading like this, just take some water. Because this is galaxies, the same technique is not applicable everywhere, but for different subjects under study, the techniques will change. So I am applying water on the edges so that it spreads well. I'll just keep it down so that you can have a look of overall how it is happening. I've taken some green. You see how the color is just running into it. So this is a turquoise color. The first one I have taken is a shadow green. You can take black as well. I just want to experiment with shadow green. Just don't think too much. Whatever color it is, just go ahead and put in. So now you can see here there is a large pool of water coming gathering here. So sometimes if I don't want that much large pool of water, this is a completely dry brush. Nothing, no water is there on this. So I'll just put it. It's called a thirsty brush technique, you can say, where the brush will drink all the water. So I'm taking a bigger brush because there is a lot of water here. You can see now the water is all absorbed into the brush from the paper. If you want to control. So now I don't want this much water on my paper. That's why I'm doing this. It's not mandatory you have to do all these steps. If you want this, then yeah. If your paper is having a lot of water, then you can do this. Now I'll keep this little bit here. I'll do the other layers again and again. I just want to show how it spreads on this particular paper. We have wet some area. I think it has absorbed most of it. Water is not there, but I'm just applying a little bit of water. And now what if I drop color on this thing? We'll see how each of both of these will dry differently. See, when there is enough water, this is what happens. Beautiful blooms, they bloom into each other. So we'll see once it dries how differently it dries from this one, because this is a cellulose paper. Then we have one more blue. I have taken two blues, turquoise green, and this is blue. You just guide at some points where to mix, what to mix, and let it mix. It might form into some other color. That's okay. We are just enjoying the process here. Since I holded the bookmark down, everything is gathering down. If it is flat, it might not gather in the end. It might gather to sides. So just to show you, I'm holding it that way. That's why it's gathering to the down. Now if I twist the other way and just move in, you can see how water is. Now if I want to put some other additional color on this corner, I'll put the pink itself because it's very beautiful. See, I'll just run my brush like this. But see, now it's not spreading that fast as it has spread initially because there is not that much water. So I'm just indicating little bit of water here so that it goes inside. So we'll quickly put some more colors because here it's a bit white and all. And if you have a white paint, we'll do some beautiful technique now at this point. If you have white paint with you, just take it out a little bit. Let me apply green here because it's almost gone. Sometimes for galaxies, we can reapply water and then rework also, but we are not going to do that. It takes little time for everything to dry and then we have to rework. So you can explore by seeing some tutorials and other sessions later if this subject interests you. Now we'll do something beautiful if you have white paint. Okay, I'll be using white gouache, white paint also you can use. So I'll just take a little bit of this and I ended up making both of my glasses muddy. I was too excited and little bit dilute this one and then we'll do beautiful technique. I love this technique a lot. So I'm just making sure everything is spreading. There were times I just play with watercolors. I do like this. See, everything came off excess water. I'll just beat it up so that the excess thing comes off. It's up to you. I'm just showing you different ways so that there is no strict way to follow. So that I want those yellows and reds to blend a bit more. And you can add a darker color in the bottom also, but I just want to leave it open so that we can add a little bit doodle on this corner, or because on the darker ones again it's difficult, we can't see, we have to go with a jelly roll pen or a white gel pen, that's why. So I have diluted this white paint and I'll just cover it this one because I don't want to spoil that particular painting. So we call this technique as splattering. So just tap on your this thing. You can see how wonderful stars are being formed. So this we are doing before the paper is fully dried. After the paper is dried also we'll do the step again. At this step everything will blend together with the background color, and when we do once it is dried it will give a little more effect of the stars. I have used white gouache. You can use white watercolor as well. Anything is fine. You might be getting a little different output in the next stage when we put it once it is dried. So now I will set this aside for dry. I'm not adding anything. I have some dust here, so I'm trying to pick it up. Yeah. I'm not adding anything. If you want to add, you can add, but now I think it's almost trying to in the dry stage. This part is still wet, but here it is almost drying. I can see that. So I'll set this aside for drying. You can use a hair dryer after some point if you think we are running short on time. In here, you can see the paper is behaving differently. The texture of the paper is different. You can see, right? So that's why we get a different output again here. There, that is a good watercolor paper. This is a cellulose paper. So here we get the output we get is different. So here the streaks, kind of streaks that forms here. So you can start with the cellulose paper, but if you're aspiring for a watercolory output, you need a good paper. I might end up using hair dryer if it is not drying, because it's actually cold here. It's That's why there might be. Please share the watercolor bookmark size. Um. Okay. I will try to share it from the Canson this thing. So it's sorry. It's 17.5 centimeters by 7 centimeters. So it's not a standard as such. You can make anything as a bookmark, but yeah, this you can use it later. Okay, sorry. I couldn't see the entire message. Um, it's Canson. This one is Canson. This doesn't have a brand, so this is a customized one from the Fabriano paper, Fabriano 300 GSM paper. This one, but this particular one of my artist friend customized a sketchbook, so I got it from her. The other one is Canson. Yeah. The colors again, I told it's from Indian brand Thovi Arts. You can see it from here. It's on each of these tubes, and the brushes are silver brush I'm using. So the fine liners I'll be using are from Micron. This is a different version. Generally, they come in white, so this is a different version. Both are same. This is some of their anniversary collection which I got my hands on. So you have been to mandala sessions, little sessions have happened. So I'm pretty sure you are aware of the sizes, and also I'm not discussing in detail about this part because this is a little unique contribution. That's why I have discussed more in detail. So I'm just letting it dry, and maybe we can okay, this is wet actually. mm, I think, yeah, just give me a second. I'm just letting this one dry. Yeah, it's good to have watercolor paper. I'm unable to read the full message. That's why I will log in on to the other thing.
No,
And
no, that's fine. I'll read it for you. So my question was, so it's good to have a watercolor paper which is cellulose free, right? Like as a beginner, it's okay to go with like 300 GSM watercolor paper. But if you want the results, it's good to go with the one which is cellulose free and it's a little bit more thicker, right?
yeah. So if you go with the cellulose free paper, it's good if you're expecting the results from, if you're following some tutorial and you're expecting a similar results, it's always good to go with the cellulose free paper. But again, as a beginner artist or a hobby artist, it's difficult to invest on actual watercolor paper. It's a little bit on an expensive side. So most of I personally have started with the same brand of paper. They come in A4 size as well. I personally started with this particular brand because it's an affordable option. And the moment I saw 300 GSM and cold pressed, I went for it. But later I have learned it has a cellulose in it, and that's why I'm not getting the results that I anticipated from, the artist that I'm learning from. So eventually I have shifted to 100% cotton paper once I got hang of techniques. I learned all my techniques like this wet on wet, wet on dry. So there are different techniques which I said I'll share when I am doing the other things. So this is what wet on wet. We have put the water on the paper and then we have put the color. Then there is a wet on dry where like I'm just taking a paint. My paper is not wet and I'm just putting it. So this is how wet on dry looks. I mean, you can make a blend out of it by adding water and all, but this is how the process looks. Should we choose? Yes, you should choose cold pressed because hot pressed will not get uh, the texture. So the text, if you want a texture, you should choose cold press, like such amazing texture when you are painting. You can see it on wet itself, right? So how it has textures because the paper has texture. That's why the paint is spreading in that way. So if the paper doesn't have texture, this also have a very slight texture, but you will get it a very flat output. I think Yeah, I can show you this one. So here you can see it's a very flat output texture. It's very mild texture. So here it's a very flat output. You won't have the texture feel. Here you are having a wonderful texture here. So that is the difference between cold pressed and hot pressed, to be brief. So this is like wet on dry. So the paper is dry and you are putting a wet paint. And then we have a dry brush. Accidentally, it has come here. So the paper is dry. Brush also doesn't have much paint. Even if you take the paint and then I just told you this, dab it on this thing. Brush is like this. It's not wet. So this is how the brush looks when it is loaded with wet paint, right? Like this. So for the dry brush, you load the paint and just dab it off, and the brush look should look like this. And when you do like this, okay, still it's not dry brush, but it will eventually become dry brush. See, that this is where I said it little bit has, this paper also has a little bit texture on this thing. That texture will be enhanced for this through this dry brush technique. So this technique generally used for representing a little bit rivers, we generally do the rocks also with this thing. A beautiful rock can be made with this dry brush. This has to dry. So let's say this is some rock, and then now we'll add some dry brush to it, and it will be becoming very beautifully textured. In an overall painting, this can be a rock with a little, wet and dry brush technique ending. So these are different techniques to express watercolors. And upon these galaxies, one way is to add with fine liners. And there is another way where you can use jelly roll pens if you are into making mandalas and all. You can use jelly roll pens. These work very good on a black surface as well. Like this is some other color, right? So even if I put on top of this, it needs little time to dry slightly. So it works on this. There is a lot of colors collection for jelly rolls as well from the brand called Sakura. So you can explore if you want to do on a different, on a black paper. You have seen artists doing works on black paper, right? So this is using this particular pen. So this also you can use on galaxies because white enhances a little bit, but for today we will just do with the fine liner itself. It's almost dried, but since we have to wrap up in a moment, I'll just mute because hairdryer will sound resound. You can just observe how it is drying and all. I'll just mute it. Video will be on. I'll just mute my voice so that you're not bummed with the hairdryer noise. Okay? I'll just this we do in most of the times. So yeah, I normal hair dryer. Okay, I'm just mute. Yeah, it's all almost dry. You can see, right? I'm just running my hand over it. Nothing is smudging. It's dried. Here there is a load of pigment. That's why it's shining. But yeah, you can see how beautifully it has spread because of the water. You can see that how it has been spread like this everywhere. That is the beauty with watercolors. When there is a proper proportion, that is the beauty with the paper. Now, just a second, I'll quickly dry this also so that you can see the output. Yeah. Also, one important thing is most of the artists prefer to dry it naturally, but because sometimes I end up using hair dryer only when I know that, yeah, more water is not going to spread the color. No more water is there to spread the color as such. It is going to dry as it is. But sometimes when there is a water, it will spread. Then it will dry at its own. Let it flow. Just surrender to the watercolor kind of thing. That time we just have to let it sit for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes based on how much wet the paper is. So here you can see it also dried beautifully a bit because there is a small texture on this thing, but not as beautiful as, this one. I am not comparing with entire thing, only the red part also you can see, right? There is a difference in both of these. So that is where initially I used to, see artists doing such beautifully and get disappointed because I get such results. So I just told you the reasons behind it. And now, since it's dried, if you want to add with the protractor and these things, you can add. Or if you just want to doodle, you can doodle. It's up to you because I have just seen yesterday itself, we have learned how to draw the grids and all. Since it's a very small book, it's difficult to draw the grids and all, right? Especially for a bookmark thing. So, okay, can we Veena, can you read me out the full question? Because
Yes.
yeah.
So there's a question that if the TUI tubes are expensive, or can we buy the individual cakes?
Okay. Tubes are little bit expensive in whichever brand it is, little bit. So these comes around, some of these are 450, some of these are 600, depending on the shade and the pigment. So there is a lot of information on back of these watercolor tubes, which I'm trying to convey. I'm doing a series on Instagram and YouTube as well. So it's where I'm trying to decode all of these things. So the price varies because of these things. I do have their watercolor cakes. I have to fetch them somewhere. So in that way, if you're learning as a beginner, I would suggest go with these sets. Such kind of sets are also handy. You will get a small flavor of each of the colors. So those kind of things also are helpful. Anything whichever you prefer, your budget covers. So I have given different options. So I just showed you what I'm doing. Brustro, I started with Brustro brushes. I started with Brustro paints back then. But now, since it's an Indian brand and I am a member of Tovi, and I just love their paints and the idea behind it because the artist who is behind it, I know her from long, from 5, 6 years, like when Veena was also known to me. Of course, I know Veena before that in my college. So yeah, that's how it's up to you. There is no specific brand, but the technique and the papers are also plays an important role. But yeah, this is my go-to if I want to, because there are international brands which sell each tube more than 1,000 rupees also, but such premium quality watercolors I find from Thovi Art. So that's why this is my go-to. So I'll just I don't want to spoil. It's so beautiful, no? Um, that I'm very happy that I just saw the word learning a lot, and I'm very happy that this is happening because I am a kind of person where I'm very enthusiastic to teach. That's why I'm doing PhD alongside. So I'll just, this is so beautiful. I don't want to touch it anyway, but then we'll add a small doodle or, small flower kind of structure at some corner so that it compensates, just to, make you aware that you can mix different mediums until unless they are complementing each other, or how to add them. Let's suppose I have added mandala before and then do the watercolor. Then wherever I have drawn, the layers of this watercolor paper might have been blocked by this particular pen. That I have learned over time and practice. So that's why I will let the watercolor thing finish, be it as background, and then add the fine liner layer. There are some aspects where you can do a wash on top of mandala as well. That is a different technique, but then you won't do such kind of galaxies. It will be mostly single wash, or mixing two colors and doing a different technique. But if you want to get involved into watercolor techniques and enhance the watercolor output, I go by the other way. Do the watercolor and then doodle on top of it. So I have just taken point 0.3 fine liner, and I'll just simply doodle a small flower in this corner because I'm amused by these colors and wonderful color suggestions told by you all. The yellow and turquoise have actually, made it so beautiful. I'm just doodling little bit. If you want, you can add a mandala as well. So I'm sorry to disappoint that the mandala part is not coming.
That's totally okay. Everyone can add designs in their own way. I also wanted to say something. I did a Galaxy mandala years ago where it was like like the regular mandala grid, but in the center I did a galaxy and it had layers of mandala around it. So I think it was more like I did the galaxy first, and then obviously when the color comes out a little bit, you cover
Uh-huh.
that with the black fine liner. You cover it, and then you start by adding mandala layers.
Yeah. That's true. That's how initially, I also did when I'm experimenting galaxies with mandalas, because we don't want the technique. That time we were also new, and and when you fall love in with watercolors, you always want to do the watercolor thing first, and then that happens. But yeah, it's always good to do the watercolor layer before if you want, like the model which Veena was telling. A lot of artists do this in the center. There was a time where all of us used to experiment the central part. So even now a lot of us do, but yeah, that time it was there, and you can participate in some challenges using these things, how to include each of these elements. I just doodle a little bit in the corner. Maybe I'll just add two leaves this side so that it looks more beautiful. But yeah, any watercolor doubts are appreciated, because I am, after starting watercolors, I think I have left mandalas for a while, and I have been amused by the medium. And a lot of artists do amazing works with their normal Camlin watercolors also. So it's not the brand, but yes, if you get a good brand colors, it's really helpful at some point of time. I just added a very simple doodle. And one more thing I wanted to add, because before concluding. So, if you want to add a mandala, proper mandala or proper design, you need a hot press paper. Till now, I am boasting about the cold press paper, but you see the difficulty. I never draw such. I never draw this bad. Okay, but then the texture is there, right? So, as I said, there is a texture, and the texture makes it, difficult for you to the fine liner to flow smoothly. So that is one reason where, like, when you are dealing with watercolors, even so the cellulose one, so I just did a normal pattern. The cellulose one is still better in such a way, but the proper cold pressed one, if you see, it's difficult to do mandalas or any such kind of patterns on this particular one. Yes, I have one more little surprise final touch. I said we'll draw some stars or something on top of this as well, right? That will make an entire different look of this one. So I'm trying to cover this up because when I splatter, it will fall everywhere. And I'll take the thinnest brush possible. Okay, this is size 0. I think 2 is size 4 is fine. Yeah, I'm taking size 4 brush. This particular white gouache. So this is how you generally add stars to a galaxy or any night painting secret. Wonderful secret this is. Not a secret anymore. So you just make it in the consistency so that when you do this, it falls on your paper. See, some small. So it's on the pressure. So if you do it lightly, small stars will fall, and if you do it little pressure, so you can see little bit thicker. And galaxies are incomplete without stars, right? So how can I end the session without this splatter? And at some points, if you want to make really a star, we can make that too, little bit. But this brush is bigger, I feel, for the star. You can make it with pen, but I have a zero size brush which is for details. So on the black part, I'll make the star so that it's more visible. Huh? You have to take thick white paint, only then it will be visible. Otherwise, white gouache also will be visible because gouache is a bit thicker paint. See this, just four corners and one more tiny star here. You can add stars here and there if you think it's your thing. There is no limiting. I just want to add two stars and maybe few more splatters because as it dries, it's getting absorbed into it. Now we'll do the tape peel. It's actually this needs to dry a little bit. Okay, we'll use my tool because I don't want to stretch it long for you. Still, this is still little wet. Let it be. And let's see if I got clean edges or not. I doubt I have got clean edges because the paper was not steady. I was lifting here and there. Okay, surprisingly, yeah, it is clean. One thing I like is if we use the technique of scale and pressing it down, it's really helpful. It won't seep. Sometimes it seeps. I'm just waiting if somewhere it's seeping. I can show you that, but it hasn't seeped surprisingly. So maybe that particular thing for some other day have to correct. Little bit here I can show. Yeah, I there are a couple of comments, but I'll ask you, Veena, to tell me
And
after.
one of it is from me. So I'll ask that first. I think the right tape also matters a lot, right? Because I use like the regular paper tape, like the very regular one. And for me, it has been fine on one edge, but the other two edges, it peeped like very tiny, like very like a dot or something.
Yeah, it
The other
rips,
two
it
edges,
rips.
what happened when
Sometimes it rips.
came off, the like the paper also peeled off a little bit. Like it's not smooth.
Little bit it comes for some papers. I was about to peel here also little bit, but yeah, sometimes it happens. Tape, I generally use the white transparent masking tape. I don't know where I have kept it. Just give me a second. It must be somewhere. I'm not using it these days, so. Uh, I couldn't find it somehow, but yeah, if I could find it, I'll definitely share a picture with you and you can share it in the group. And yeah, tape also matters. The normal cello tape doesn't work. You have to use a masking tape. It's called masking tape. If you type it as a masking tape, a white color tape will come. And
I would normally use those cute, very cute masking tapes that we would get.
yeah, you
I
can
just
use
don't
those
have
as well,
them.
but you just okay. I can show you that. Very good. I also use those cute masking tapes. Then
Yeah.
again, there is a little technique for removing your tape as well. So this is that cute. I have seen the question of ohm color. I'll get back to it once this is over.
Yeah, they're called washi tips.
Yeah, that's right.
Washi tape. Yeah, I generally. These cute ones are also called washi tapes. So these things I'll tell you. So if I have pasted it, and if I remove it in an angle, it won't come. So always you have to make sure like you are removing it an angle. But one problem with these tapes is like I have observed water will seep in because it is not that much adhesive. And at some points, if you tape it out without angle, if you lift it like straight, then there is a high chances of getting the ripping the paper off. You have to always remove over an angle. Maybe once you see the video again, you will understand.
I
I
did that. I think it was the tape that's not done because I
maybe.
obviously used like the, like the paper tape.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, adhesiveness also matters. Sometimes people remove excessive adhesiveness over their plank, over their writing pad, and then
Yeah.
tape it down. So there are different ways. You just have to find out that right tape which suits you. So this one is empty tape
Yeah.
from it's yeah.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
coming to coloring this thing, like Veena was telling, we used to do galaxies inside this thing. So what I have done, I have created the ohm and then carefully with this brush. Technique is same because this is also kind of mix of different colors, right? So the technique is same. I was just wetting in the sense, I mean here wetting the paper, putting water on the paper. So carefully put water in this particular areas and just dropped in the color. And because that time I'm a beginner in watercolors and I didn't let the watercolors flow by themselves, I was guiding and mixing all over. So that's how it has led to this thing. And this paper is also not 100% cotton paper. So that is also one more reason why the output is little flat. This doesn't have much texture. That is why I could add mandala. Slight, very little texture is there, but with that you can manage adding mandalas. The pen work goes, but on this particular paper, the pen work is little different, difficult. So that's why when you want to do such good watercolor thing, then yeah. But the name is little bit misleading for today. Sorry for that. I have talked more about watercolors with the love I have on watercolors. But I'm happy to listen that it has helped you a lot and you have learned a very new perspective. As I said, what this will bleed little bit here, very tiny, teeny bit, little bit. It has come out, but yeah, you should not consider it. But if at all it comes for you all over, we always have white gouache or white paint. Just carefully, apply it here and let it dry. Very carefully you have to do because if water goes inside this, then this galaxy thing also will get disrupted. So when you do this thing, it's gone. It's magic. So no one ever knows that there is a line here.
As
So
you're
these are
doing that,
some.
I'd like to read out something to you. It's a compliment from Swati. Um, so Swati says that I've always been scared of watercolors, and first time the way you taught that sort of made her excited to learn this wholeheartedly. So credit goes to you. You made it look easy and explained it very well. Thanks a lot.
That really means a lot. I wish to continue this journey, and yeah, whatever it is, teaching is one of my passion, be it in my work or be it in art. So I'm really happy when I get when I get to hear such things. And yeah, if you can learn more about the watercolors. These days, I'm talking more about the color properties and all, and there are a couple of tutorials at my end as well. And yeah, I leave it to you to explore. I don't want to boast more about this thing, but yeah. Anything else, Veena, from your side?
I think we're all good. Your screen looks like a very beautiful art spread. Love it.
Yeah, a lot of colors. Yeah,
It's like
galaxies is
mess,
something I can
beautiful
never.
mess,
Yeah,
but beautiful. You
yeah.
know? So I'm saying it's like a beautiful.
Yeah, I can see something. Someone is showing their screen, even if it is my. It's so beautiful. It's really. I mean, the excitement. Wait, I have to turn my camera. It's really. Oh no. Just a second. It's really, really, really so good, Megali. It's really so good. I mean, it's very lovely. Thank you. It just gives me a lot of joy to see galaxies because there is no limit. You can explore with any colors, and I can really feel the sense of joy. Shamal, I think, Shamla or Shamal, I cannot see the full name. It's very
Yeah, but
beautiful. She has added mandala on top of it. It's really, really great.
so if
She has done
anyone
some
of you
technique
would like to
also. And
learn, please
Ragini,
do.
Ragini, it's beautiful, different colors. She tried to blend in different layers, and in the end, she tried to blend all three colors. It's really good. Everyone so lovely. I mean, I love the enthusiasm of everyone because there's such bright colors. It's so happy to see because the colors, they just give us a hint of happiness. And yeah, bookmark I chose because it's very small. You can finish it in a little time. And of course, it takes drying time. So the tip is I use watercolor hair dryer most of the times at some points when I wanted to finish it off. But yeah, it's really, really so good to see three of your works. And Megali has done on a big, is it A4 size or A3 size, ma'am?
It's A5.
A5, okay. Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good.
Thank you so much. Had a great session.
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that because I am still exploring more. I still feel I'm a beginner in watercolors, but that's great, Namrata. Thanks. That's good to hear from you. These tips, yeah, I'm always happy to discuss a lot of tips. And one interesting thing is, as I practice more, I discover some new technique or some new tip, like where and I'm excited to share that maybe yeah in coming because I know Veena will definitely repeat these days, and she's a very wonderful soul bringing everyone together. It's not just now because she has been doing this from long, and we have been together from long, so I'm very happy that this time she has come up with a new concept of different art forms, and just it's really good to see everyone. Thank you, Shamal. Thank you so much. I hope all these techniques will help you. Just the fear of watercolors is gone. I just got one more comment. I couldn't read it full. Just a second. I can see it now, but yeah. Learn about watercolors. Yeah, I just hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Priyanka. Yes. It's a beautiful medium. You can explore. I just tried to take the fear off from you all, and now you can do a lot of wonders at your end.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. So, a lot of compliments for Ishwari. It's really nice to hear that, and I'm glad you're all enjoying these 21-day sessions. So the whole purpose of doing these was so that you come, you learn, you sort of get yourself out there and just spend an hour for yourself learning something new. And today's session was really wonderful. We learned a lot. I also learned a lot. I think, like Ishwari told, we always learn something new every day. Every day is a learning. And now, if you have any further interest and if you want to learn more, you can check out her YouTube channel. I'll share a link. Alternatively, you can also reach out to her on Instagram for any classes, or she also has few recorded classes on Skillshare. They're amazing.